Cashiers of Reddit, what products make you silently judge the persons who buy them? Every week, this woman bought a shopping cart full of toilet paper. It wasn't my business to ask why, but was curious, how could anyone, or any family use so much of it? One day, she said that she was glad it finally went on sale, because she donated most of it each week to the 2 homeless shelters in town. I thought that was so great. That took an unexpected nice turn. When parents with very overweight kids buy nothing but junk food, do you judge people who are high and buy junk food? I worry sometimes. Also, can you tell I'm high when I do it? I work in a bookstore. I've had people read with shame while they bought 50 Shades of Grey and make comments about how I must think they are idiots. Look, I don't give a shit what you buy. At least you're reading and keeping my store open. A Vietnamese lady came in a day after Valentine's Day to buy candy. She bought hundreds of bags. I made a joke about how the dentist bill must be insane, and she told me how she sends the candy to orphan homes in Vietnam because they don't have candy there apparently. Don't judge a book by its cover, guys. Edit. A few words. Edit 2. Stop saying it's BS. The story is true, whether the lady lied or not. However, I don't know. But I'd like to believe that she is just a good person. I worked as a cashier at Kmart once, and it was like my 3rd week there, and then this couple came into my line. They were buying lube, tissues and condoms. As awkward as it was, I had to ring them up. Then out of the complete blue the guy asks me, hey, you should ask me what I'm going to do with those. My supervisor turns and looks me dead in the eyes as a literal ball of sweat drips from my brow. I'm awestruck. I continue to ring them out in silence, then I say I'd rather not. They both laugh at me, and I just continue to ring them out. Heavy judgment because the chick was really hot. Had a teenage girl come in with several members of her family. They all came up to the counter practically in tears and bought a pregnancy test. She then went into our bathroom to take the test, which I thought was odd. Seems like the kind of thing you do in the sanctity of your own home. Then the girl comes out, bawling, and then her family starts bawling, and they are making a huge scene in the middle of my store. It was super duper awkward. When parents get angry at their kids for wanting a 50p pack of stickers, or some cheap child's magazine saying we don't have enough money for that, whilst paying for cigarettes and lottery tickets. Sometimes I just lie to my kids about not having money, because we have so much of this random at home, that I think I'm going to scream every time I open a drawer in the kitchen. Ex-cashier of 5 years here. After a while you don't notice and it all becomes the same, because you're so familiar with the items your store carries. Only time I have made an extreme judgment based on items purchased was when a man came in and purchased peanut butter, dog treats, condoms, lube and rope. Not even joking. Not a cashier, but I shop at Whole Foods. Invariably there will be someone in front of me. She will have some $30 snake oil supplement and an overloaded container of prepared food, the kind where you pay by the pound. She will pull out cash as she is rung up and realize that she doesn't have enough to cover both. So she takes the snake oil and leaves the food, which cannot be resold. I assume not only is she a moron for buying some supplement, but is hoping the cashier will let her keep the food once it has been voided, since it is going into the trash. This isn't exactly the same thing, but I used to work at AutoZone. One day a customer came in and asked if there were any deals on our strongest antifreeze. I asked him if he meant the lowest temperature rating, and he said no, the one with the most ethylene glycol. I was really confused and asked him what he needed it for, and he told me it was because his neighbor's kids just got kittens and they were trespassing on his property. I excused myself and went back to my boss / the store manager and told him, and he told me I had to make the sale. I had to sell him 4 gallons of antifreeze to kill some defenseless kittens and absolutely crush his neighbor's kids. I try to never say I hate anybody and I never wish harm on anybody, but yeah. The only time I really judged someone was when he came in and found a perfume he liked and bought 2. I said it would probably be a good idea if you have 2 women in your life, thinking wife, mother, daughter, etc., to get them something different. He said, oh, no, one is for my wife, the other for my girlfriend. If they wear the same perfume, I don't have to worry about my wife smelling my girlfriend's perfume on me. I mean, that is smart, but it's also. I used to work at a Save-A-Lot as a cashier. Our client base tended to be a little lower on the economic ladder. At the first of the month, when the benefits get loaded to their cards, I always hated to see people push a cart up full of soda, chips, etc. These people also usually tended to be in poor health. I didn't really judge them, I more felt pity for them. I also didn't like seeing people who would come in with the PIN number for their card on a piece of paper. It was a small town. I know that wasn't your card. I didn't hold it against the people who had the misappropriated card, but more against the people who sold their $300 worth of food stamps for $150 so they could buy alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, etc. The sad part was, a lot of the people selling had kids. I was at Walmart buying groceries and picked up a bottle of lube. I have a fleshlight. It wasn't for bud stuff. This young guy was ringing me up, but when he tried to scan the car Ultragel it didn't work, so he kept trying to scan it. Then I could see it on his face. He suddenly realized what he was holding. He looked really uncomfortable as he kept trying to scan it. Normally I'm slightly embarrassed as I pay for lube, not this time though. As he kept running it over the scanner I softly said, yeah, keep going just like that. His face turned red and it finally scanned. I paid for my groceries and was on my way. Best time I ever had buying lube. I have had to buy a few pregnancy tests in my time and I always switch the diamond ring my BF bought me to my left hand so I don't get a look of pity. Just so you think I'm not crazy, I have a really irregular period. Sometimes it'll skip a month. Sometimes it'll get to in a month. But point is that I'm on no schedule, so I have to take pregnancy tests a lot because I'm not sure if it is my weird period or pregnancy. We sell Batman underwear that comes with an underwear cape at my work. I always have a little bit of judgment when those come through my line. Also, when old people buy leggings. Oh god, my parents bought me these for Christmas. I'm 26. Actually they are the TMNT version. But what do you do with the cape? You can't wear these under anything because the cape bunches. Am I supposed to wear these over my pants? I feel bad removing the cape portion, so I've left it on so far. The only people I silently judge are the ones trying to make up a reason for me to not silently judge them. So what if you eat that whole cake by yourself? Live a little. Lol, I work in a small hardware store, and if someone comes up to buy a plunger, and sometimes it's these young women, I wonder if they're the ones who just took a big enough to clog up their toilet and have to come get a plunger. If every single product is organic and costs twice as much as its non-organic counterpart, and you talk on your phone while checking out, and wear your sunglasses inside, and your little tennis skirt. I don't like to judge people, but that just screams a perkless white entitled and I'm white. I'm not a cashier, but once my husband and I were buying cosplay items. We bought a crowbar, a bat, and duct tape. The cashier asked if she needed to call the police. I'm not a cashier, but I do sometimes buy Magnum XL condoms in an attempt to impress a cashier I'm kind of hot for. Boy, Amazon sure solved a lot of the issues in this thread. I work at a golf course and a medium bucket costs $7 for 40 balls, while a jumbo is $13 for 100 balls. When people come in and get 2 mediums for $14 it instantly makes me think they are idiots. In case you're stupid too, 2 mediums is $1 more for 20 less balls. In college I worked at a drugstore at the camera counter. I didn't do most of the cashiering but did occasionally. Here was a combination of items purchased by one customer that caused me to raise an eyebrow. Chocolate syrup, Astroglide, children's toy handcuffs. I used to work at a local pharmacy and a regular customer came in. The only items he purchased were a wrist brace and a tube of Kai jelly. He must have noticed me looking at the items, and he said, "I swear these are unrelated. Whatever helps you sleep at night, dude." I didn't judge, but it's a great story. I saw a guy in the condom aisle looking absolutely baffled. I'm a pharmacist and went to help with an inward sigh. Some people have no idea how to use them. He said, I have no idea what I'm looking at. There are so many. I've been fixed for almost 20 years. But my boy's going to college, and I don't want him bringing STDs or any babies home with him. He got really excited when I told him about Sperm Addict and bought 5 to 6 dozen count boxes. That's a good dad. Freshman year of high school, I was a cashier at a local grocery store. There was an upscale organic cupcake boutique in town that sold their cupcakes for about $4 each. It was ridiculous, but people still bought them. Anyway, the owner would come in every other week and buy about 20 boxes of Betty Crocker cupcake mix and frosting. She must have had like a 2000% rate of return on those things. Edit. The cupcake boutique has since gone out of business, and the lady was a soccer mom in her mid-30s, so I doubt she was the confession on here, but it's interesting to know how common this apparently is. Picture it. October 31st, 1974. My mom sends 11-year-old me to the store for a bag of apples, and my dad needs Gillette razor blades. The cashier looks at me like I just stuck a dump on her conveyor belt. A cashier once talked shit to my grandma when she bought pig's feet. I think they are gross too, but I don't want you talking to my grandma about how gross they are. Mind your business. I once went to a pharmacy and bought a vibrator for my hockey teammate as part of a secret Santa our team did. I don't really know what the cashier thought of me when I bought it, and I really don't want to know what she thought when I asked, can you gift wrap this and write to JP from Patrick on it? If you buy groceries using WIC, Woman with Infants and Children, basically low income help for not so well off mothers, and food stamps, and then go over to the counter to buy a carton of cigarettes and $400 in scratch offs, I'm judging the fuck out of you. Had so many people do this when I worked retail. Edit. Just so there is no confusion, I have no issues with WIC or food stamps. They are both great programs when the people using them are actually using them to get by and not just to fleece the system. When contractors/painters would buy America's finest or speed wall paint, I assume they are overcharging a family or company by getting the cheapest paint as possible. Not a cashier, but I learned the other day that apparently you get judged for buying alcohol at 7 AM. The cashier was pretty vocal about it, and if I wasn't so non-confrontational, I would have told a manager. She flat out said something along the lines of, it's a little too early for boozing up, don't ya think? UHM. 1. None of your business if I'm drinking early in the morning. 2. It was on sale during a routine trip to get milk and such. Am I supposed to just leave it and come back after 5 PM to buy my alcohol? However, when I got home, I realized how my entire purchase looked. I got milk, chocolate milk, Lunchables, also on sale, and a strawberry daiquiri. She probably thought I had kids or something, so I understand her concern. Kind of. She didn't have to say anything, though. It really struck a nerve. Edit. For those asking if she was joking, maybe. Her tone didn't sound very jokingly, but I may be wrong. Either way, alcoholism is a serious thing, and it kind of strikes a nerve when it's implied in such a manner. If it was obvious she was joking around, I wouldn't have gotten so upset over it, but her tone really did make it feel offensive.